Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm bringing you guys an update to my Fur Hire deck profile, and oh my gosh, this new support is so good. I have just got to tell you guys right off the bat, I have been testing around with this a lot, and these two new cards, the Rex and the Donner, are just so good for this deck. Really helps to improve the ceiling and the consistency. I wouldn't even really necessarily totally say the ceiling of the deck, but definitely the consistency is just all there. You can always go into your full combo every single time. And you're I would say that your ceiling is a little bit higher because you can generally go into like an IP Masquerade and stuff like that, which you generally weren't able to do before if your hand wasn't like cracked. So anyways, let's get on into the deck profile. But you know, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely subscribe. If you guys are new here, I would really appreciate it. Hit the like button if you guys enjoy this video. Let me know in the comments what other deck profiles you guys are looking forward to, and consider checking out the Patreon if you guys are interested in supporting the channel. There is a new perk that is going to be coming up, which I can't tell you guys right now, but it is going to be really cool. It's going to be like a new merchandise perk. So if you guys are interested in signing up for the Patreon, definitely go ahead and consider that. But anyways, so we were playing 3 copies of the new Rex Freight for Hire, but this card is so good for the deck because when he's normal or special summoned, you're able to add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So the trap that, or the spell that I generally go for is the Rookie for Hire, which allows you to get rid of your monster on the field, and then you're able to special summon out a monster with 1 level higher or lower than the current one that you distributed, and then that's just generally where you're going to go for your beat, because beat is 1 level higher, and then beat just gets you into all your stuff, gets you whatever monster that you need at the current moment, and generally that's going to get you into your Philo and stuff. So we'll get into that in a minute, but overall it just helps the consistency so much. It's so nice. And then also it has a graveyard effect that, as a quick effect, you're able to banish him from the graveyard and then special summon one of your Fur Hires back to the field, which basically the way that this deck works is that you want to destroy your opponent's cards during their turn. That way you can get off the effect of your Falgo in order to draw 3 cards from your deck. So with this, if you have your Donpa or your Recon in the graveyard, then you're able to just banish this, bring them back from the graveyard, and then like your Donpa can pop one of your opponent's face-up cards on the field, which is just so good because then you get to pop off your Falgo and stuff. This card right here is like the savior of the deck. It is so nice. Then we're going to get on into 3 copies of Beat. Because of the Rex, I was actually just straight up able to drop Rhoda from the deck, which sounds a little bit crazy, but this is literally the only warrior that we do have in the deck. So overall, it just did not really seem necessary to play Rhoda because you can so consistently get into Beat. You now have like basically 9 copies of Beat because you have like the Rex, you have your copy of the Rookie for Hire, you have your 3 copies of that, and you obviously have your Beat. So basically having 9 copies of Beat is so good for the deck. You just don't even need the Rhoda anymore because you really hate to open up a hand where you have Beat and Rhoda, because then you just search for another Beat, and then that one would just end up being like a discard target for your for like one of your guys, like the Raphael and whatnot. So overall, just not really that necessary. But this card being able to search you into any of your monsters. Generally here, we're going to be able to go into our Philo. So with Philo, there is just like a really nice combo here where you can go for your Rex, summon Rex, you search for that Rookie, use the Rookie to get into Beat, and then if you have any other card in your hand to summon, you then special summon that to the field, and then Beat's effect will go off to add the Philo, and then you special Philo to the field with whatever that extra monster was. If you had a Donpa or whatever it was, whatever that extra name was, that is just the 2-card combo with Rex and another card to be able to get into Philo. And then Philo with the Link monster, you can link it away to go into your Link Karibo, and then you use the new Link monster, the Donner, tribute off the Link Karibo, and then you're able to basically special summon 2 guys back from the graveyard, and bam, just like that, you're easily able to go into your Falgo. So it is just so nice being able to use these 3 cards. It's so consistent. But with this card, when it's on the field, when you special summon a monster to the field, you're able to special summon another back from the graveyard, which is just super duper nice. Then we're going to get on into our 2 copies of Donpa. So Donpa, just super nice. When you special summon a monster on the field while she's there, then you're able to pop a face-up card on the field, and then with the Recon, you're able to pop a set card on the field. So this is face-up, this is set. So I'm only playing 1 Recon. I could, you could maybe try to put it to 2, but I thought that it was okay to just play at 1 because generally you're not going to be coming across too many set cards nowadays. A lot of stuff is just so go, go, go. And then like by the time this card would come out to the field, like if your opponent has a floodgate or something that they set, generally it's probably going to get flipped by the time you're going to be able to use your recon, but still it does have its moments. 1 copy of Helmer because it helps us to draw into the deck. 1 copy of Seal because Seal is basically like Philo where it special summons, but the Seal actually adds the card back to your hand. Then we have 1 copy of Bravo. Then getting on into the big guys, we have our 2 copies of Raphael and 1 copy of Wiz. This is your monster negate, and that's your spell or trap negate. Unfortunately, they do not negate and destroy, which is very unfortunate. And then we are playing the 1 copy of Dinah. Still like playing the 1 copy of Dinah. It's still pretty good to play in the deck. Just to be able to like DD Crow 5 cards from your opponent's graveyard sounds good to me. Then we're going to get on into the hand traps. We're playing 3 copies of Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is always my hand trap of choice with this deck because if you pair it with your Falgo in the extra deck, when Falgo is on the field while you pop something on your opponent's field, then you're able to draw 3 cards from the deck as long as you have enough for hires on the field. So this card is just super duper nice. If you can't get into like that that play that I was mentioning earlier with Donpa, if you have Donpa on field and you bring something back, then Donpa is going to be able to pop a face-up card on your opponent's field, and then you get that draw 3 effect. So good. And then that just helps you to draw into more hand traps. So that's why we're playing 2 copies of Ash and 2 copies of DD Crow. Like I said, we do have like the Dinah to be able to banish some stuff from our opponent's graveyard, but overall the DD Crow is still nice as well. Generally you're not going into Dinah too often, so I just really like having the DD Crows in here because it is just so powerful right now against like Tier Lumens and other big things in the meta. Also, Drytron, all that stuff that just uses the graveyard. Then we're going on into 3 copies of Rookie for Hire. I already mentioned this quite a bit. This card is just so good for the deck. Then 2 copies of Mayhem for Hire. I'm only playing 2. You could play 3, but this card is hyper searchable now that we have our Rex. So having the Rex is very, very nice for this card. But overall, Mayhem for Hire is so nice. To be able to bring guys back from the graveyard during your opponent's turn or during your turn. So overall, you could play 3 if you wanted to, but there just wasn't enough space in the deck. 1 copy of 1-for-1 to go for our Philo directly from the deck. 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of World Legacy Succession for another extender, 1 copy of Instant Fusion to be able to grab our Millenniumize Restrict to help us to be like Nibiru proof, any hand trap proof, or be able to like stop stuff like Appaloosa, whatnot. There's just like a lot of different things, or just suck up a negate. Then 1 copy of Pot of Desires. I used this in my last build and I still really, really like it. Just, like you don't care too much about any certain card in the deck, and we're playing 3 ofs of like the really major stuff. So overall, being able to go with Desires to be able to just draw 2 cards is so nice. Then 1 copy of Call by the Grave, just so our combos can go through. And then lastly, for the trap of the deck, 3 copies of There Can Be Only One, just to be able to keep your opponent off of going into a bunch of random stuff. And generally, we're only going to be having 1 monster of each type on the field at a time. But that's going to do it for the 40-card main deck. It was still pretty tight. There's a couple flex spots here and there. One last thing that I do want to mention, just for some other stuff, I didn't put them in the main deck, but in the side deck, you would definitely want to have these if you're going to like a competitive tournament and stuff, like you're going to locals or anything. Definitely keep these in your side deck. The Change of Heart is going to be so nice. I did have Pancratops in my previous build, but overall having the Rex is now a dinosaur, so funnily enough, he kind of messes up with wanting your different typings. But overall, these are really, really nice. And then the last card that you would also kind of want to put either in your extra or in your side would be the new World Sea Dragon Zealantis, because overall, if you can use Change of Heart or Mind Control to steal your opponent's monster, you Change of Heart your opponent's Appaloosa, and then you steal their Appaloosa, but they still have other things to do, other disruptions, and they might try to sort of stop your stuff. Then you can just link away their Appaloosa to go into the Zealantis, and now they're not going to be getting that Appaloosa back, even though like they stunned some of your other plays, you couldn't really do anything. Like they stopped your for hire line, and you just couldn't special summon anything from the hand. Then Change of Heart, steal the Appaloosa, go into Zealantis. It's just still kind of like a fun way that you can mess with your opponent. So overall, these are like the 4 cards that I would heavily consider for the side deck, along with just other good stuff like Harpy's Feather Duster, other things that destroy, Twin Twisters, all that kind of stuff. But getting on into the extra, we were playing 2 copies of the new Donner Dagger for Hire. This card, so good for the deck as well. Rex, like I said, Rex was revolutionary for the deck, but Donner is still really good because with this card, once per turn, you can tribute one of your, you can target one of your for hire monsters that you control and one monster that your opponent controls and then destroy both of them. You know, so that's just like a nice little effect while it's still on the field. You're not going to be using that too often, but still just other ways to pop things is really nice for the deck to help complement your Folgo. But another thing that she can do is that while she's on the field, you can tribute a monster on the field in order to special summon a for hire back from the graveyard. And then if you tributed a link monster to activate that effect, you can actually bring back 2 guys from your graveyard or your hand. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, basically like you bring back 2 guys from the graveyard if you do a link. So that's why we're playing a lot of link monsters that go easy access along with her. We'll get to that in a second. Then 2 copies of Folgo. You really only need 2 and 2 of these guys. But overall, Folgo just so good for the deck as well. You got to keep in mind that he can't be used as link material, but just being able to get that draw 3 off of him and stuff is really good. Also, he can special summon a guy from the deck, which is really nice. So for those link monsters to help to complement our Donner, we are playing 1 Link Karibo, 1 Relinquished Anima, and then 1 copy of Salamangreat Almirage. Just because with this, if you have out the Donner, and then you can... basically, just find a way to like leave, or like I was saying, you basically go for Rex. Rex will search you for your rookie for hire. You use the rookie for hire to go for beat. And as long as you have 1 more name, so I'm just going to say that we have another copy of, or we have a copy of Donpa in our hand. So we just use beat, so we go into all of this stuff, go into beat, use beat's effect to special summon the Donpa from hand. Then beat is going to search for your copy of Philo. Then you use Donpa to special the Philo to the field, and then you can link away the Philo for your Link Karibo. So you get Link Karibo onto the field, get that on there, and then you just tribute the Link Karibo for Donner's effect, bring back the Philo, and then bring back like the Donpa or whatever you linked away, whatever the heck it was, for the Donner, and then like you just get all that free material. It just gives you a free 1 free body on the board. It's just so good. So that's why you want to play all of these easy access link monsters, because depending on what you have, if you have a level 1 or you just have like a normal summon monster, you can go into those. Then we're playing IP Masquerena. And then just a lot of really good targets for it. We have Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus, just because these specifically say destroy, so it's really nice to complement your Folgo. 1 copy of Unicorn, because if you're going to play all of these nightmares, you might as well still play Unicorn, even though it doesn't destroy. 1 copy of Avermax. Avermax with IP Masquerena protection will just always be appealing to me. 1 copy of Appaloosa. 1 copy of Underworld Goddess, just because we can spam out a lot of monsters, and being able to go into Underworld Goddess to get around like a big towers monster is really good. And for the last card, we have 1 copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's deck profile. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I've been kind of working on this one a little bit, trying to lab it as good as I could, because this is a really fun deck. Overall, just love the theme of this deck, just how they're all, I mean, it's just so good. It's such a good, fun deck. All the different typings and everything, it's just so fun. So thank you guys for watching this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully it wasn't too much rambling and whatnot, but I tried to go fast. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And again, go ahead and check out that Patreon if you guys want to help to support the channel. I would super duper appreciate it. So we'll catch you guys for the next deck profile. Peace.